afternoon, Kelly. How are you?
Pretty good, Natalie. How are you doing?
Good. Good to see you again.
You too. You too.
Not like I don't see you like every Friday for a Zoom and talk. We talk every day, but I get to see you live
Exactly.
again, and we get to talk about a really great topic that's very important to us. In fact, is the reason that we came together, and that's about starting in-person groups in support of parents going through parental alienation. Now, if you don't know, Kelly has pioneered the very first one in Kitchener-Waterloo at the Church of the Good Shepherd. It's attracted people from far away as Newmarket, and I do believe Newmarket is a fair piece away from KW. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half, Natalie.
Okay, there we go. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Um, so to tell you about it, first of all, Kelly, could you just remind everybody or educate everybody on what the in-person group is all about?
Okay, so the in-person group is basically for members, parents who want that in-person contact. Um, there's online groups you can go on to and everything else. Me, myself, I wanted in-person contact. And that was the main reason of starting an in-person group, just to have somebody to say hello and greet you at the door, just to see somebody face to face instead of over a computer. Um, that was my main reason for doing that. Just that human contact, pure and simple, right? And of course, everything that we designed for the in-person group concerning PA, right? But simply, it was started. I started just because I wanted that in-person contact, and I felt that there were other parents who would want that as well. Um, Actually, I did a poll in another group at one point asking what do people think about an in-person meeting for parental alienation support, and surprisingly, but not surprisingly enough, everybody loved that ideal, and that was people from right across Canada. So there's people all across Canada living in different provinces, different cities, who would like that ideal of having an in-person group. So that's all I needed to hear to take that step forward and create that in-person group in Kitchener Waterloo. So basically, it's just the desire for in-person contact. I think in society with computers and Zooms and everything else, I don't think anybody would disagree that that in-person contact is missing in today's society compared to what it was 20 years ago. Like everything was, you know what I mean? Back in the day, everything was in person, right?
Yeah, you have a
Yeah.
choice.
I think for me, I enjoy the in-person contact myself personally. I'm getting used to the Zooms. I still find it kind of awkward, but it is what it is when it comes to that type thing. But for me personally, I just like the in-person contact, right? That warm hello, that smile, and just everything that goes along with in-person contact.
Well, I'd say, especially since COVID, we got very used to doing everything by Zoom.
Exactly.
Sitting, you can see me from here up. You have no idea if I even have pants on,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that actually gets pretty comfortable. People get used to, being on the couch,
I got
having
pants
their,
on myself. They're pajama pants, so I'm
yeah,
just chilling
pajama
today.
pants and our cozies on, right? And we just get,
Yep.
here up.
Yeah. And we
Um,
got used to that. Yeah.
we
It's
have
just,
gotten used to that, and I would wager to say that the re-entry for everybody into in-person contact has not been easy for a lot of people.
yeah. Yeah.
And certainly coming into an in-person group for PA, um, I know for myself now. We're talking heads on here. We're not afraid to talk or show up or to do anything anymore at this stage. However, for the average PA parent, what would you say to them to encourage them to take the step to get in the car and come to an in-person group?
Yeah. Good question. Good question. And so, two things. So, as you said, with the COVID, everything was in Zoom and everything else. Everybody was locked down. Right? We all know that.
Mhm.
Everybody went stir crazy. The fallout from COVID mentally, um, I think, is quite large. In a sense, we forgot how to operate in person,
Mhm.
right? It's just,
Mhm. Yeah.
I think it's different out there nowadays, let alone with everything else that's going on in the world, right? So that's number one, right? Uh, just learning how to interact with people again face to face, right? Um, to get that person to come off the couch type thing, um, who's enduring PA, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, especially
Mhm.
for somebody who's just going through it. Um, just the way society is nowadays with the trust, I wouldn't blame anybody for hesitating, right?
Mhm.
It's a personally myself. I don't like the way the world operates myself, right? Now you throw PA into this and open up an in person meeting and everything that goes along with PA. That'd be a tough thing for somebody to do. Um, well, all I can really say is that this group was the in person group was founded uh, so people could have that in person contact and feel normal, right? And then you toss PA into that. So I started the second reason why I started this in person PA group because I felt there was a need for parents uh, to have a safe, comfortable place to go and discuss our issues. I, I I thought it was like way overdue time to have one. Um, yeah, so I wanted to create that safe, warm, welcoming environment, and the group's been running since July. Um, I'm thinking we're achieving that in the in-person group,
Mhm. I would agree.
and I think it'll just take a time for people to trust that process of the in-person group. Um, Me myself, if I had an in-person group to go to when I first experiencing PA, I think I would have ran to the group myself personally because for me, I was seeking a lot of comfort and understanding from
Mhm.
stuff, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I really couldn't, right? I could get the basics, but I couldn't get all the understanding and comfort that I needed at that time, right?
Yeah.
Um, Hence, that's another reason. Again, there's many reasons why the group was started, but that's another reason, right? Um, so, if I think back to when it first happened to me, I would have ran to a group like that, right? Granted, not even knowing what it's about, how it operates, and everything else, but in the grand scope of the scheme of things, if there's an in-person PA group, you generally know what it's for, right?
Mm.
It's for support for that person during PA. I would say to that person on the couch, just find that strength and energy to get up, come give it a try.
Mhm.
And I think that's half the battle is just um, trying, right? Because we all can get it inside our own heads and think of 10 reasons why we shouldn't go.
Of course. That's easy to do,
Um,
actually.
yeah, you know what I mean? I think we really could do that. And then, well, then you can also find a reason to go to as well, right?
Yes.
Um, and those are the reasons why you have to stick with. And you literally have to try to get up and go, and I understand that, right? PA can be so paralyzing for a lot of us
Yes. Yeah,
at
well said.
different stages. And I totally get that. Well, I would say at least try, find that strength, that energy, that courage, if that's what it takes to get in your car, come on down, and at least see what we're about. And
Yeah,
then and
exactly.
then and then you can always say, "Well, at least I tried," right? And you'd be surprised, how just trying can help you without thinking of how it's gonna turn out. Just
Yes.
that actual act of trying, actually helps you, right? Because 'Cause you're trying something to help yourself, right?
And that's something we need to do as PA parents. We,
Yeah.
I would say, you and I, Kelly, you and I talk about these things all day long, every day.
Yeah.
As PA parents, we are technically focused on our children because they are alienated from us. Therefore, our focus does not tend to be on ourselves and our own needs. And
Yeah.
you and I have discussed, like, just because we're parents doesn't mean that we are prepared for this heavy mantle that we need to carry on our shoulders, that we are also hurting. We are also not understanding what's going on. We feel alone. We feel singled out. We feel ashamed. We feel sad. We feel angry. We're trying to figure out how to get out of bed, how to have a shower, how to keep our jobs, how to
Exactly.
talk to a lawyer. How, there's so many, it opens the door of so many unknowns that in the course of, let's say, normal life, what you would expect as a parent to experience, the highs, the lows of parenting, not that parenting is easy.
Yeah.
Uh, but you expect your teenager to sneak out. You expect your toddler to act out. You expect your 10-year-old to, start to have emotions and feelings that are really, really annoying. Like, we understand, the stages of parenting. We're taught these, right? We're taught the milestones. We're taught
Yeah.
the hard times. How many teen parents of teenagers congregate in a school parking lot while you're waiting for your kids after a sport and go, oh well, guess what Susie did last night?
I,
Yeah, well,
I,
Tommy, oh, I can one up you there. I've got twins over here.
yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
afraid to talk about those moments. In fact, it's like a badge of honor that we are enduring these milestones with our children. Well, throw in PA. There's no playbook for it. There's no guidebook. You're told by experts you need to be doing more. Somehow, and then I'll talk from myself personally. What I have done and am doing is never enough. You talk to uh, professionals, you talk to advisors, you talk to therapists, you even talk to people who are non-PA people. And they're like, well, obviously you're not doing it right because you don't have your kids, or your
Yeah.
kids don't talk to you, or your kids hate you, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So having a place where you can sit and look someone in the eye and you can shorthand it. You don't even have to try to explain it. You just get it.
Yeah.
There's
Exactly.
such a release in that.
There
That
is.
you can rest. You don't have to start to give your resume of PA and defend yourself. You can look at the person across,
Exactly.
like you and I are right now, and
Yeah.
we have done this
Yeah.
where we don't have to explain
Yeah.
every nuance because we're like, oh, dude, I get it.
And defend is
Defend
actually a
yourself. And it's a
good
safe
way.
space for us to
Yeah.
hold each other up
Yeah. Yeah.
and say that you are not alone.
Yeah, you don't have to defend yourself in PA in an
No,
in-person group. You really don't. All you get people doing this, nodding their heads. Yeah, I get you.
if
Instead of people.
anything, the only thing you get is like people trying to tell their stories of, oh my God, I totally get it.
Yeah.
And here's what I did.
Yeah.
Or I feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Have a cry
Yep.
together. And I know for some people, I'll say, being vulnerable in this way can be very scary because we try to keep our emotions really close because we're
In a
trying to
check.
do life.
Yeah.
We're trying not to, like what I've done, cried in the grocery store,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I can't handle my emotions.
Yeah.
We're trying to stay upright. And
Yeah.
it's a place where you don't have to stay upright. You
Yeah.
can
Exactly.
you can just
Exactly.
be. You can be in
Exactly.
all the things PA is.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever day you show up, that's who you are.
Exactly.
You don't have to be that strong person. Like you have to think you have to be out in public or this or that or with family or friends or whatever. You can just be who you are. You can feel the way you feel, right? Um, and that's part of that in-person contact I was talking about earlier. It's something that's real, right? You know?
Yeah, it's very tangible.
Yeah, it's just so every time I go to the meeting, I have the key for the church, and every time I go to the meeting and I turn that key in the door, or even when I'm driving to the meeting, I have this great feeling of, well, at least I'm trying, right? trying to do something good from a good place for other parents who are enduring the same thing, and that's a beautiful feeling, right?
It is a
Just
beautiful feeling, absolutely, we agree on that, everything that
just that in
we
itself.
attempt to do is exactly for that reason.
Yeah. So when I said earlier about trying to get off the couch, that's what I did doing starting an in-person meeting. I tried. I took a poll in another group. People liked it. I announced, well, I'm going to go look for a place. Month after that, I announced, well, I found a place,
Mhm,
and I just actually tried. Kind of like in a blind faith type thing.
very much so.
I knew I was coming from a good place, starting one. Um, so I felt the need for one was so strong that I just simply took that poll. Everybody seemed it was good, and I said, okay, well, this is what I'm doing then, and I never looked back. Right.
Mhm,
I
exactly.
found the place, open it up. I go there every Sunday night at 7 o'clock, not knowing who's going to show up or anybody's going to show up. But as long as I'm turning the key on that door, something's good happening, right?
Absolutely.
That's the way I look at it. So, as far as creating an in-person group, because we had a couple of members ask questions about that.
Mm,
Is there in-person groups in this city or that city, and are you interested in an in-person group? Um, so, if you're interested in starting an in-person group in your own city, um, that's a great thing. It's not that hard to do. Once again, all you got to do is get off the couch. Go find a place. It's really that simple, right? If you believe that you're doing something good from a good place for parents in parental alienation who are enduring it, it's pretty easy to start because that will to help another parent and do something good for PA,
mhm,
that'll drive you. That'll literally get you off the couch. That'll literally get you driving around when you're done work all day long and you got to drive around for an hour, go to this place or that place and see if they're available. It literally drives you. That's what happened for me, anyways. It literally drove me, right? Um, so, people might ask, well, where do you go? Like what places would have an in-person group? Well, the obvious one for me, and it's obvious to me, is because my mother's been in AA for 44 years. Um, when I was younger, I used to go to AA meetings. Um, when I was in my early 20s, I went to AA meetings for a couple years. Um, most of those meetings are held in churches
mhm,
or community centers, places like that nature. Churches are always willing to offer their space to a group, say AA, like NA, any kind of groups like that, and then anything outside of that as well too. They're offer their space to. So naturally, for me, it was, well, I'm going to go to a church because that's what I know, right?
mhm.
And that's exactly what I did. I went to three churches, and one got back to me right away, type thing, right? So that part was quite easy. You just, you literally get up and you go look for a place,
Yeah,
uh, and they're all more too willing to help you, right? So that's what I did, and I found this one place, and um, it's really ironic. I just want to say a little bit that's kind of off topic, but not about starting a group. So when I went to go meet this person at the church that the in-person meeting is now held, uh, met this person, and we got into a conversation about what the meeting's going to be for, and lo and behold, that person's spouse was going through parental alienation at just as of late, and we talked about a good half an hour on that subject about what her
it
partner was
was, yeah,
and whatnot, right? And that was just ironic to me because here I'm starting an in-person group for parental alienation, explaining to this lady what it is, and lo and behold, uh, yeah, she knew a bit about it. And then it was, I would say, maybe a month after I started, another individual from the church dropped by just to check on the church, and lo and behold, this person's friend was also going through parental alienation, and I got nothing but support from these two individuals to don't give up on your, don't give up on the group. It may
Mhm,
take some time,
mhm,
doing a good thing, all that, everything else, right? Which is really nice compliment to hear. But I just found it ironic that I'm starting the in-person group for parental alienation, and here are two individuals linked to the church that have experienced it. Like, it was just kind of ironic, right? So that kind of that was a cue for me to let me know that I'm doing a good thing and the right thing, right?
mhm,
So, anyways, yeah, go to a church if you want to start an in-person group. That's a good place to start. Community center may be willing to help you have an
mhm.
in-person group as well. Maybe a library. They might have space. A community library might have space. Um, it all depends on when you find a place, and you have to pick a day of the week, of course, right? I picked Sunday at 7 because it's the weekend. Everybody's kind of chilling, and it's after dinner for
Yep.
my neck of the woods, right? There's really no good day to pick, I don't think, in my mind,
No,
through the week to be driving somewhere. I don't know, traffic in Kitchener is atrocious through the
they're
week
everywhere. Yeah.
as much as any other city. So those are things to keep in mind too. What day would you like, right? Uh, Maybe an afternoon time might do for somebody on a weekend in some other town. It's really up to that person living in that town to kind of figure that out because they'll have the feel of that town, right? Um, for a fee for having a place, churches generally don't charge you a fee for renting out a room from them, a meeting room or whatever. But some do, but there'll be a small fee, right?
Yeah.
It's a very small fee that is actual doable all day long. A good thing about churches, they'll have a meeting room. The one that's in Kitchener at the Good Shepherd Church, they have a large meeting room with a side room right off the meeting room with couches, chairs, fireplace.
Awesome.
They have washrooms, parking. They even have a kitchen facility. They have all the chairs, all the tables, any stuff like that. They'll have. That's why a church is a really good spot to start. Community center should have that as well. Um, yeah. So, and if you do decide to, if anybody out there decides to do one, um, whatever you do, don't give up, right?
Yes, have patience.
Don't give up. The PA is a different animal
Mhm.
compared to starting any other kind of a group like AA. This that. Don't give up because we're up against a mountain type thing.
Mhm.
But there are people out there who do want in-person groups. That's a given. I've seen that. I know that. People do come to the in-person meeting in Kitchener, and that's a start, right?
It is. It's a beautiful start.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love it. So one thing I'll chime in on here with is the question of materials and making the group notice. So we are happy to offer our materials tailored to your area, your address, with our Facebook group, but our full support behind you, including, if you need to private message us or have a Zoom with us. Um, if you're in Vancouver, I can get together with you in person. If you're in KW or Guelph, you could get together with Kelly in person. That's why we aren't in person because we are far across the country from each other. Otherwise, we
Too
would be
far.
in person, I think. I'd like to think we would be.
Too
Um,
far away.
yeah. So we have our advertisements now down to an art. We've got templates, we've got key one pagers to print out that are beautifully done, explain PA, explain some of the things to support yourself. And then we can also talk you through a little bit like how do you open a group? You know, how do you welcome people in? How do you close it down? I will be very clear in saying that we are not um, like AA, NA, or PAA in the sense of that we are not a 12-step program. We do not have a definitive 12 steps, a definitive doctrine, so to speak. We really are working from the heart, and our groups are very organic in the sense of we want to meet you where you're at. And if you're leading a group, we want you to be able to meet yourself where you're at on that day and be vulnerable and transparent and meet anybody else where they're at. You know, some people on their first time coming in are likely going to be quite guarded. They don't know what to expect. We've been up against as PA parents, we've all been put down, we've been in court, we've been up against lawyers. Just showing up to another place that's unknown takes a lot of courage.
Hmm.
But you can do it. And you show up with that first time, that's amazing. Someone shows up at your group, that's amazing. Just open your ears and listen to where they're at. If they're saying, I just came for information. Okay, we've got information. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep.
Absolutely. Here you go. Here's the takeaways. You can take these home with you.
Yep.
And
And the,
hopefully, and Kelly's had this experience, has had people come back and start to
yep.
trust
Yep.
because this is a trust exercise for people coming to
Absolutely.
the in-person groups. And it's a trust exercise for you to go to one.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's the core of what I'd like to say. Like it's not about processing a certain meeting type. There really is nothing other than hello, how are you? I'm so glad you're here.
Yep.
What's your experience today? What's going on for you? That's it.
By the way,
We're in
by
the PA.
yeah, by the way, we're here to support you any way we
Yeah.
can. Here's some information,
Here's
etc.
an ear, here's a shoulder,
Yeah. Yeah.
here's a safe space. And I'm with Kelly. Had I had that opportunity, and I looked for it when I was in, I'm still in PA, but when I was in like the thick of the really, really tough stuff, I looked everywhere for this kind of thing. And all I found were Facebook groups that um, are full of, we've talked about this in many of our other videos, but I
Yep.
can't reiterate it enough
Yep.
that full of memes and bashing and gender bashing and
Yep.
baby mamas and sugar daddy,
Yep.
whatever sugar daddies. Maybe there's some sugar daddies in there. I don't know. I don't know where my mind went there, but you know what I mean.
I get you.
Anyhow, moving on. But with no productive or actionable opportunities for support. And that's where our group, Parental Alienation Support Canada.com, at Parental Alienation Support Canada on Facebook, Instagram, and soon to be TikTok, you can find us and find that real support it's just for you. It's
Yeah.
for you as the parent or
Exactly.
wherever you are at.
Exactly. Yeah. Well said, Natalie. Yeah, our group is not set up like AA or NA or any other group like that. I think PA is a different animal. Yeah, we're there for support. We're there to educate as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if you're really thinking about opening one up, uh, don't be afraid. Just go do it. Just have that blind faith, because that's what exactly how I did it. I did it not knowing how it's going to turn out, because there really is no way to know how something like this is going to turn out,
Right.
especially with PA. I always throw something like especially PA or with PA, because PA is a different beast, right? Compared to anything else that's out there in my mind, right?
100%. 100%. I agree.
It just makes anything that you're trying to do to help people that much harder, right? Just because it is PA. Yeah, don't give up. Just go out and do it. Have that blind faith. There are good people out there willing to help. Um, I know sometimes it can seem like doom and gloom or a mountain that'll never be climbed, but mountains are climbed.
Mhm.
Doom and gloom doesn't last forever. So you just really got to
Yes.
have that blind faith and that willingness to go and help that fellow man and woman, right? And during PA, that's a big part of it, right? If you can get
100%.
if you can get over that hurdle that and tell yourself that I'm just going to go out and do it and give it a try, whether it works or not, that's half the battle. The rest, finding a place and having a structure for the group, that's fairly easy, right? Then all you got to do is show up and turn the key and wait for people to come and have that faith, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Word will get out, and people will come. People are come. That's I remember the one post I posted when I first opened the in-person group. I posted in a group. I said, "Nobody showed up tonight, but you know what? People are come. Somebody will believe."
Yeah.
You know, and
Someone
then
will take a chance.
the next week somebody came, right?
Mhm.
So it's really that blind faith and just having that. For me, just having that knowledge that I'm not the only one out there hurting, that I'm not the only one who wants in-person contact, right? There's others just like me, right?
Yes. Yeah,
So,
we're not alone. We may feel alone in P I mean,
yes.
we feel very
Yeah.
isolated in PA. It's easy to feel
Yeah.
that you're the only one.
Exactly.
And
Exactly. So
yeah.
then, so having that willingness to go and start a group, that's number one. Finding a place, that's fairly easy. It took me a month. Once you get that key in your hand, you feel really good. You feel like you're accomplishing something whereas in PA, it seems like most days we can't accomplish anything. And then
Mhm.
number 3 is, we're here to support you. We're here to
Yes.
give you what you need. We're here to give you the one pagers. We're here to give you, guidance on what's worked for us so far, and we'll support you.
Mhm.
Uh, for me personally, and I think for you too, I think
Absolutely.
we want PA, in-person groups everywhere. It's
Yes, we
time.
do. Yes, that is absolutely a goal.
Yeah, it's
100%.
time. It's time. I when I started this, that's what I thought in the beginning is to have them everywhere. It'll catch on. It'll be normalized. Yeah.
Yes, a great
We're
word, Kelly, normalized, and in
yeah,
fact,
we're yeah,
you and
we're
I both have
parents.
had people reach out to us from various provinces, um, BC here, but not within my region where I live, Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Ontario, Halton
Yep.
region. If you're in Ontario, that's a big need. If you're in
Mhm.
Halton,
Yeah.
contact us because you build it, they will come. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah, in a big city, I would
Yeah,
see
like in the big
no
regions
problem.
of Ontario, Peel region, Halton region, I know or two that have reached out a lot
Yeah,
that
yeah.
are looking for groups.
Yeah,
Uh,
I had somebody come from, Alton region there a couple weeks ago,
yeah,
and even that's a drive, right?
that's a trek.
Yeah, yeah, and
That's a trek.
that's a drive too. It was a great meeting. It was just, but it's time to have them, in my mind. It's time for parents to, have um, their journey validated,
Yes.
time to have their feelings validated, time to recognize that, yeah, we're humans. Most of all, we do have feelings. We do go through hard times in PA. Yeah, and we do need some support, right? It's time. It's just to
Yeah.
normalize it. To normalize it. Never mind the division and this and that and everything
Mhm.
else. No, we're going through this. We like to have some support. Full stop. That's it, right? Just like any other self-help group, right?
Yeah.
And I think if I think like the vision of that spreading, I think that could be infectious in time, right? I really do.
I
It,
agree. I think it can catch on like wildfire.
yeah,
The response that we've seen just from us starting the group that we started in the
yeah,
manner that we started it, when we talk to people about what we're all about,
yeah.
people are like, oh. Well, oh, okay. There's vulnerability and openness with that, and people are seeking it.
Yeah, yeah,
If
they're
if
just
they build it and they will come. Literally, there's an audience out there almost everywhere. On the first meeting, are you gonna have 1 person or 10?
yeah,
Who knows? You may have none.
yeah,
It takes
yeah,
time to build the trust and build the recognition and build the, recognition in the community and reach out to different people to to garner support. But at the end of the day, I mean, who doesn't want to sit with other people and say, I get you. I've got
yeah,
you. I see
exactly,
you and I hear you.
exactly,
There's
exactly.
nothing more beautiful or life affirming than that to me in PA. That to me, that's everything.
For that 1 hour a week to feel, like you're understood, and when you can leave a meeting and feel good,
Yeah,
yeah, that's valuable in PA,
it's
right?
hugely valuable.
Very, very valuable. Um, we have to get parents to, um, not feel ashamed about speaking up or
Mhm.
not feeling, maybe ashamed is not the word, but
Not be
stigmatized
afraid. Stigmatize, not be afraid.
stigmatized for speaking up about what we're going through. No, it's a legit thing that we're going through. Very, very legitimate, very real, very, very everything.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't we have in support groups for that, right?
And just to give food for thought, when we keep ourselves small,
Yeah,
we're not getting the message out there.
exactly,
We stay within
exactly.
ourselves. We often, and this is a little bit of like a PSA of the activism of or advocacy of PA.
Mhm.
If we consistently stay small, if we consistently try to minimize our own trauma, our feelings, and where as PA parents we really need support, how are we
Mhm.
ever going to get the support and change that we want if we stay
Exactly.
silent and small? We're not going to.
You're not
And it
going to.
doesn't mean that we have to be, picketing Parliament Hill or
No.
but you get enough groups going across the country, you get a voice.
Exactly.
Your voice
Exactly.
will become louder, the more of us that can start to speak up and support other people to speak up, and it's like little light bulbs across the country that start
Yep.
to scatter and light up. And they'll all be blue
Exactly.
light bulbs, by the way, let's just say that.
Yes, we will.
We'll talk about that later. Um,
But
it's a whole other
exactly.
Zoom. But,
Exactly, though. Like, yeah,
you
speak
know,
up, spread that spread this out, and it'll be normalized.
support each other.
Support each other, yeah,
Support
really
each other,
support
and
them.
then together, we
Yeah,
can lift each other up
exactly.
and make this something that is exactly is normalized, is recognized,
Mhm.
and then we can start to, those who want to can start to work towards change in whatever manner,
Yeah.
legislation, schools, communities, themselves.
Mhm.
It doesn't really matter. That's again other topics, but I want to feed
Yeah.
into that a little bit to because maybe that person on the couch is like, well, I kind of want to watch The Voice, and
Yeah. Yeah.
what good is it going to do anyhow? Well, it does good for you first and foremost,
Exactly.
and then
Exactly.
it does good for those in your group together.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it will do good because maybe you're going to run into somebody because you're feeling good who isn't feeling good.
Exactly.
PA is more common than is recognized.
Yeah, so it's all those little things that you just mentioned, right?
Yeah,
All those little things that we may not think about at the time, but those little things, they all add up. They
they
really,
do.
all
They
add
do.
up, and you can't see where those little things are gonna go. All you see is just those little things. Uh, like case in point, me just taking a poll in another group. It's a little thing.
Yeah,
I had no idea that I'd be sitting here this afternoon with you talking about an in-person group at that point.
exactly.
Not at all. Not an iota of a clue
No,
that I'd be doing
no.
not an iota of a clue that you and I would create an online group,
Yeah.
support group. Not
Oh,
an
yeah.
iota
Back
back
like
then.
when
And that was just
when we met, we
yeah,
only met when in June
yeah, maybe
of
July.
this year,
Yeah,
2023,
yeah, yeah, yeah. The
so
in-person group was created in July, and here we are in
and here
September.
we are, yeah, only
But
September.
that little thing, doing a poll in the group, what do people think about an in-person group? That little thing, I had no idea what I'd be here right now talking to you about it.
Yeah,
Oh,
and here
yeah.
we are.
So so when I say that little thing and you're sitting on the couch going, well, maybe you should follow that little ideal because you never know where that little ideal can lead you to, right?
Exactly, and, anything moving forward is good.
Yeah,
It doesn't
especially
have
if
to
you
be big.
yeah, exactly. Those little things matter, and especially if you're coming from a good spot, if you're doing things for good reasons.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you really, you could say you could go wrong coming from that spot, but generally,
Mm, I
y
haven't
that
experienced that. If you're
yeah,
truly in the good spot, and but the
yeah,
good spot, we mean heart in the right place, open mind,
that's right.
open heart,
That's right.
no
How can you go wrong?
expectations,
Yeah,
willing
how
to
can you
help
go
and be
wrong,
open.
right?
How can you go wrong? I mean, it's true.
Yeah,
How can you go wrong? You can't.
yeah. So, yeah, those are good things. Those little things matter. They
They do.
really do. So, yeah, that's how I did it. Um, I just got off the couch and hit the streets and, looked for a place. Um, and then I met you, and then we molded that group to what it is today. So, yeah, it all starts with one small little thing in my
Sure
mind, right?
does. It sure does.
Yeah,
And it just takes acting on it. Just that
yeah,
little bitty thing. It doesn't have to be like I can't stress it enough
yeah,
that, have faith in yourself.
yeah,
Have faith that
yeah,
you can do it. Have faith that you are worth doing it for.
yeah.
Whether it is showing up to a group or starting a group or
Mhm.
starting, you know someone else in PA, start a group together. Support each
Exactly,
other. You don't have to do it
exactly.
alone.
Yeah, you might meet somebody else in your own town,
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, I wanna do this, but I'm scared, but I'll do
yeah,
it with you.
let's do it together.
Let's do it together."
Yeah, there's a strength in numbers, right?
Absolutely.
Especially with PA.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's just let your mind wander and see what you can come up with and just go out and do it.
And
Uh,
again, that, we are here to answer any questions. We are here to support you. We are here to create graphics. I'm the one who does the graphics. So, um, if you have a question about like, well, how am I going to do this? You can reach out to me. Kelly is the boss here as far as the in-person structure goes, because I haven't done mine yet. I live in Vancouver, BC. It's a very large area, and I'm trying to figure out which area I'm going to start in. I do now run a Sunday Zoom at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can find it in our group. And again, our group is Parental Alienation Support Canada.com. So you can find it on the website. You can find it on Facebook at Parental Alienation Support Canada. You can find the same on Instagram, PA Support Canada. You can also Google our names. I'm Natalie Forchuk. This is Kelly Stone. You'll find us one way or the other.
oh yeah,
And we are just here to support you. So please reach out because we really want to see this happen.
absolutely, absolutely. And I'm glad you do the graphics because I don't know if I got enough crayons.
I keep having to send him like Crayola 64 packs, but he's still working on coloring in the lines. So I'm stuck in the graphics for now.
Somebody has to be that person. I'm glad
Oh,
it's you.
there you go. All right, Kelly, thank you so much, as always, for taking the time together, you and I, to have these Zooms and create
Oh,
what we're creating and bringing people into it with us.
yes,
We're leading the charge in a sense, but we want to bring every PA parent with us and create something that is just amazing as far as supporting PA parents.
exactly, Natalie. Well said. And thank you so much for all that you do for the in-person group, the online group. You really do a lot. Uh,
Thank you.
without you, yeah, I might be halfway there if that. I'd be through 2 boxes of crayons already.
You do keep me sane and level on
Yeah.
a daily basis. So you do it. This man has to do a lot of work some days as far as my coloring outside the lines goes. So we make a very good team together.
Yeah, we work very well, and I'm
We
glad
do.
very glad I met you, that's for sure. Absolutely.
Likewise. Okay, until we meet again, everybody, the groups will be in comments below. Message us, reach out, and if you create a group, please let us know so that we can share it in our groups and let
Yeah.
everybody else know that so that they can come to you.
Spread the word. Spread the
Spread the
word.
word. All right,
Exactly.
talk soon.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.